Hey everybody, Matt Brown here. We are wrapping up the last few songs of Nirvana's Bleach. So in this one we're going to look at paper cuts. Alright, so this one is tuned down a half step, every string down a half step. This one is really ugly, so it's one of my favorites on this album and probably one of my favorite songs by Nirvana in general. So let's get after it. Alright, so the intro section, basically the chord that he's playing is a two-note power chord type deal, and it's an F with a flat 5, so basically an F and a B note, first and second frets, and they're palm muted. So the rhythm that we had in the first measure, you had eighth notes played on every beat except for on 4. So you have a figure like this. This is just the first measure. Alright, so then the next measure, we're going to play 3 more eighth notes on 1 and 2, and then on the end of 2, we're going to do a pick scrape, basically starting somewhere around your neck pickup and going towards the bridge. So here's basically how that figure will sound. Like that. So with the pick scrape, you're mainly aiming for the 6th string, but getting some of the 5th string in there will sound good too. And you know, you're just kind of slowly dragging it across the wraps of the strings to get that sound. So on the recording, I would imagine that he overdubbed 2 different tracks. One with and then the pick slide is on a separate track. But it's just as easy to do it on one track. So here it is again. Alright, so now that happens twice, and then there's a third time that it happens, but instead of doing the pick scrape at the end of the riff, we do, like, he drags the pick across the high 3 open strings. So basically you get this. Alright, so that starts the verse then, or the verse starts after that I should say. And the verse is this. Instead of the pick scrapes and the open strings, we get so again, you're doing this F with the flat 5 deal, and then at the end, basically I'm fretting the 3rd string at the 3rd fret with my pinky, and we get this arpeggio deal. So the high 2 strings are open. So to recap, I'll play it again. So you want to let those notes at the end of the riff ring over top of each other. And then as soon as it comes back to the palm muting, make sure that your right hand, as you start to palm mute, is covering all 6 strings so that your right hand's muting out those open strings. So here it is. Alright, so that's the verse part. And then the next part that's coming up is the pre-chorus, so now let's look at that. So with the pre-chorus, what's going on is basically he's just arpeggiating an E sharp 11 chord. So basically to start off, to give you the fret numbers, we have the low open 6th string, then you've got fret 2 on the 5th string, fret 2 on the 4th string, you've got fret 3 on the 3rd string. So on the bottom you've got that, and then the high 2 strings are just open. So on the first time this pre-chorus is played, you can tell he's just improvising because he's not keeping the arpeggio pattern real consistent. And he may have meant to not keep it consistent, or he meant to maybe play it consistently but made a mistake and just left it on the recording because he thought it sounded good. So it's, you know, up for speculation. I will play exactly what's on the recording, and then I'll explain how I would probably approach playing this. So here's exactly what he plays. Alright, so what I would do to approach playing this is I would break this up into phrases that are 2 bars each, and I would probably play it consistently each time like this. So I'll just keep looping that 2-bar phrase. So you've got this 1, 2, and 4, and 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 2, and 4, and type rhythm. Now the last 2 measures before we go to the chorus part, that's what I'm considering the chorus. He does do something that's real specific. So that is just this. So it's this 1, 2, and 4, 1, 2, and 4. So on 1 and 2, he's playing the bass notes, the low E, and then just the high 2 strings on the other parts. Alright, so now we are to the chorus. Let's look at that. Alright, so I'm just going to play through, it's the first 2 bars of the riff that happens at the beginning of the chorus. Alright, so we get this. Alright, so now I'll break it down and explain what's going on. So we're climbing up chromatically with 3-string power chords. We're starting with an F. And then basically every other, or all the chords after that get 2 eighth notes. So the F only gets 1 eighth note, all the other chords get 2. And so after you climb to it's a G sharp 5 at the 4th fret. After 2 eighth notes there, you're going to play the low open E. So, like that. Okay, then what we're going to do, we're going to slide from a B5 down into a B flat 5. So we have... So what you're doing is you're sliding in, picking it, or summing it once, and then you're hitting the high strings. And it, you know, it just sounds really nasty. So let's put this all together. We get... So I'm considering 1 repetition of the riff to be 2 measures, a 2-measure phrase like this. And then it starts again. So that happens 4 times. And then basically we get a second part that comes in the chorus. So I'll play that first part and transition it into the second part. To the verse. So what's happening Basically, you're sliding in from an A flat 5 down to a G5, and then hitting the high notes again. And then what you get is 2 palm muted G5s, and then an unmuted B flat 5. So, and then you basically are doing the same figure but sliding between the B5 and B flat 5. So here we go. I'll do it slowly. So now the B5 to B flat 5 measure is a little different. I'll play that. It goes. So that measure again slowly. Alright, so let's put it all together slowly. Alright, now we've got a different part here. What we're going to do is we're going to palm mute a 2-string F sharp 5. And then on the and of 4, basically the sound that's being implied here is it's an F sharp 7 sharp 9 sound, which is the same chord that's used in Foxy Lady. So basically you've got 2 and 4, the 4th and 3rd strings are muted, and then your pinky's going to play the 5th fret of the high 2 strings. So you get this. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. And then on beat 4 there, we're going to slide from the 2nd fret to the 1st fret. So I'm going to do the whole chorus together now. It's pretty long, so here we go. So then we're back to another verse. So basically you get another verse, another pre-chorus, and then a final chorus, and it ends with the chorus. And so the ending you basically get, it just ends with... And basically at the end of the song he's turning the toggle switch to select pickups. One, the bridge pickup being on and the neck pickup being off. So, that's how he's getting that little effect at the end. So really, that's all to Paper Cuts. I am Matt Brown. If you have any questions or want my transcription of this song, just shoot me an email and I'll hook you up. So thanks for watching, and we've got 2 more songs coming from Bleach.